You are sitting at your computer, the cursor is blinking on a blank resume template, and you feel a cold wave of fear wash over you. You scroll through your job history. The titles are old. The company names have changed, and then you hit the 20-year gap, the years you spent raising children or supporting a high-flying partner, and you whisper to yourself, I have nothing. I am obsolete. My skills are not transferable. The corporate world only speaks the language of buzzwords, and I speak the language of carpools and casseroles and crisis management for everyone else. Welcome to the Midlife Reset Manual. I know that feeling of professional invisibility, the shame of feeling unhireable. It is a profound fear because in our society, our value is so deeply tied to our paycheck. When that paycheck is threatened, or when the ability to get a new one is questioned, we feel our entire identity crumble. But I am here to tell you that this feeling is based on a lie. It is a lie created by a system that only values the work it pays for, and you are too wise now to fall for that trick. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from a foundation of wisdom and resilience that a 30-year-old cannot possibly understand. Your problem is not a lack of skills. Your problem is a lack of translation. You possess a PhD in life management, and we need to translate that degree into corporate speak. The skill set you developed while juggling a teenager's anxiety, an aging parent's medical needs, and your own full-time job at the local bank. That is not chaos. That is high-level portfolio management. The ability to mediate a conflict between two siblings over Christmas dinner, that is advanced dispute resolution. The ability to plan a family vacation for 5 people across 3 time zones on a strict budget, that is complex logistical planning and budget forecasting. You have to stop discounting the genius that came naturally to you. Let me tell you about Denise. Denise was 55. Her divorce left her needing a job after 25 years as a full-time mother. Her resume was entirely blank in the work experience section. She felt sick. She applied for simple receptionist jobs, and they told her she was overqualified. She felt lost. When we started working together, Denise listed her experience as managed a household and raised 2 children. I asked her to go deeper. I asked her to tell me about the hardest things she managed. She told me about the year her husband was transferred to Singapore, and she had to sell the house in Seattle, find a new house in Singapore, enroll the children in an international school, manage the customs and shipping of all their belongings, and learn enough Mandarin to manage the daily transactions, all while managing the emotional fallout of a massive global move. I stopped her right there. I told her, Denise, you didn't manage a household. You executed a highly complex, multinational project management initiative. You are a certified project manager. We just need to rename the project. On her new resume, we didn't list homemaker. We listed Executive Director of International Family Relocation and Integration. Key accomplishment: executed a successful 7,000-mile relocation initiative for a 5-person unit, managing logistics, cross-cultural communication, budget allocation, and vendor negotiation with a 100% success rate on timeline adherence. When Denise started seeing herself in that language, her anxiety vanished. She didn't change her history. She changed the vocabulary she used to describe her history, and she started applying for executive assistant and project coordinator roles because she finally saw her worth. Denise's transformation is available to every single woman listening to this. You are not lacking skills. You are lacking a vocabulary. The world is looking for a specific kind of expertise, and you are holding it in your hands, but it is disguised in the clothes of domesticity and compliance. We have to understand the three categories of buried skills. The skills that hide in plain sight. The first is the behavioral skills. These are the soft skills that are actually the hardest to teach. Things like conflict resolution, patience, empathy, and resilience. You have decades of mastery here. The younger generation can code beautifully, but they panic when they have to manage a difficult client or a workplace feud. You are the master of the difficult conversation. The second is the cognitive skills. These are the mental processes that you use every day. Budgeting, planning, forecasting, prioritizing. You make 1,000 decisions a day under pressure. The ability to determine which task is urgent, which task is important, and which task can be ignored. That is high-level strategic thinking. The third is the technical skills. These are often hidden in your hobbies. Did you manage the PTA website for 5 years? You are a web content manager. Did you manage your own stock portfolio for 20 years? You are a financial analyst. Did you plan the school fundraiser that raised $50,000? You are an event management expert. Do not discount the technical expertise you gained outside of a formal job title. The problem is that you are so close to your genius that you are blind to it. It is too easy for you, so you think it is easy for everyone else. And the skills that came from love, the care you gave your family, you think they are worthless. But the skills that come from love are the most valuable of all. They are the foundation of true leadership. So how do we move from this realization to an action plan? How do we systematically audit our lives and create a document that screams, "Hire me"? Because I am the solution to your biggest problem. I have a structured 3-step method for this. It is the archaeological dig that unearths your gold. It is called the Transferable Skills Matrix. This matrix forces you to stop listing duties and start listing achievements. It forces you to stop focusing on your past title and start focusing on your future value. The 3 steps are the verb search, the contextual translation, and the quantifiable metric. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to apply this matrix to your life. We are going to take that 20-year gap on your resume and turn it into your most compelling asset. But this requires commitment. It requires you to let go of the shame and embrace your phenomenal journey. If you are ready to stop feeling invisible and start feeling invaluable, click that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notifications, because in the next part of this video, we are going to turn your life into a high-powered professional document, and you do not want to miss the blueprint. We left off staring at that blank space on the resume, the place where your power should be. We established that you are not lacking skills. You are lacking a vocabulary. You have the gold, but you are speaking an ancient language. It is time to learn the language of the modern corporate world. This is where we begin the archaeological dig, the transferable skills matrix. This is your blueprint for turning life experience into high-value professional currency. The matrix has 3 steps: the verb search, the contextual translation, and the quantifiable metric. You must complete these steps in order. Step 1 is the verb. Search your home life and your past. Non-paid roles are filled with the most powerful action verbs, but they are disguised as chores. We are going to find them and claim them. Stop using passive language, words like assisted, helped, managed, and start using high-impact C-suite verbs. When you negotiated the price of a new family car, you did not help your husband negotiate. You executed a high-stakes vendor negotiation, securing favorable terms on a capital investment. When you calmed down 2 frantic teenagers after a bad test grade, you did not console your children. You mitigated an emotional crisis, providing clear, structured de-escalation for high-stress individuals. When you organized the family's busy schedule for a decade, juggling soccer practice, dentist appointments, and work travel. You did not manage the calendar. You coordinated complex logistical schedules, optimizing resource allocation for maximum efficiency across multiple units. You need a new vocabulary list. Swap cared for with analyzed, optimized, designed. Swap planned with forecasted, strategized, executed. Swap helped with led, directed, championed. Take your notepad today, and for every non-paid role you had, write down the top 5 active verbs that describe the true mental effort involved. Step 2 is the contextual translation. This is where we take the action verb and put it into a context that a hiring manager understands. Your goal is to eliminate the gap between the household and the headquarters. Let's take the example of running the annual charity gala for your local church. Most women list this as volunteer work. We are going to transform that into executive function. You didn't run the church gala. You served as the executive director of fundraising and event management for a nonprofit organization. The context is now clear. You were an executive. You were responsible for a budget. You were accountable for results. If you managed the PTA website for 5 years, you didn't do the website. You were the digital content manager, responsible for all outward-facing communication platforms, driving community engagement and providing essential information. This shift is crucial because it eliminates the shame, and it proves that your skills are not confined to a single environment. A high-level project manager is a high-level project manager. Whether the project is building a new financial system or organizing a 7,000-mile family move to Singapore, your midlife career gap is not a vacuum. It is an asset, because during those years, you were operating without the benefit of a full staff. You were the CEO, the COO, the CFO, and the emotional intelligence lead. You are multitasking at a level that is impossible in a highly specialized corporate role. And that broad, high-stress competence is exactly what the modern company needs. Now for the final and most powerful step, the quantifiable metric. This is the single biggest difference between a resume that gets ignored and a resume that gets an interview. You must use numbers. Even if you were never paid, you have to translate your love and effort into data. A hiring manager does not care that you successfully planned the annual gala. They care that you increased donor participation by 40, or that you managed a budget of $25,000 with zero cost overruns, or that you supervised and motivated a team of 30 parent volunteers. We need to create numbers where none existed before. If you budgeted your household expenses for a decade, you don't say managed bills. You say manage the allocation of a $150,000 annual household budget, reducing discretionary spending by 15%. That is financial discipline and cost mitigation. If you taught Sunday school for 10 years, you don't say taught children. You say led and developed curriculum for a cohort of 25 students annually, demonstrating consistent leadership and curriculum development expertise. The numbers make your achievement solid. They make it undeniable. They eliminate the subjective bias of the hiring manager. Once you have completed the transferable skills matrix, you have something powerful. You have the portfolio of proof. This is not a resume. It is a victory document. I want you to create a simple 2-page document listing 5 midlife case studies. Each case study uses the STAR method implicitly. S, situation. the challenge you faced. T, task, the goal you set. A, action, the active verbs and strategies you employed. R, result, the quantifiable metric of your success. For example, S, the church fundraiser had plateaued for 5 years with stagnant revenue. A, I designed a new multi-channel marketing plan, implemented an online ticketing system, and supervised 30 volunteers. R, increased revenue by 40% in 1 year, generating $10,000 in new funds for the organization. When you look at this document, you will not see a woman who has been out of the workforce. You will see a strategic leader, a financial controller, a proven crisis manager, a powerhouse. The anxiety that paralyzes you comes from believing the lie that you are less than. But the truth is that your midlife journey has made you more than. You are the most resilient, the most competent, the most emotionally intelligent candidate in the entire pool. Do not hide your wisdom. Do not dilute your value. The corporate world is looking for people who can solve problems, and you have a history of solving the most complex problem of all, life. Go take this matrix, apply it to your journey. Stop speaking the language of shame and start speaking the language of undeniable achievement. The only thing holding you back is the old resume you haven't burned. If this message helped you see the value in your own life, if you are ready to stop feeling invisible and start feeling invaluable, share this video with a woman who needs to see her own genius, and make sure you are subscribed to the Midlife Reset Manual. Because we are done with shame, we are claiming our worth.